Do you see my scar?
No.
Is it recording?
I think so. Hello?
Hello? Oh,
we
we
live?
can't even see ourselves eating?
I could change it to that.
But you have to
we
look
live? I think we are live in the thumbnail. Hey, the thumbnail worked. Okay. So we are now live. Murder She Ate is the name we decided on.
Yeah. So I liked crime dining as well. What did you like?
I like crime and nourishment.
Yeah.
So basically what this is going to be is just what people call, the kids these days, a mukbang.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
So it's an eating show.
You watch people eat foods. It's kind of weird, but it's weird at first when you first hear it, but then you watch one and you're like, oh, I get it now. It's fun.
Especially when you're eating good stuff. Like, what do we have here? So but we're also going to be doing, along with the eating, we're going to be talking about crimes, unsolved mysteries. We each prepared our own, so we don't know anything about the others.
And the best way to do this, I think, is if you're like a loser like us, you don't have that many friends, you can watch us while you eat dinner, hear stories. I thought it'd be kind of fun. It's something I could definitely have done when I was just like a boring single guy.
Yeah, samesies.
So, what do you got?
I have some pulled pork and brisket. So we got this new barbecue place near us. It's called Righteous Q. And it's pretty good.
Eat and tell stories. That's the only problem.
Yeah. And then I also have some pickled that I cut up and some low-carb barbecue sauce and then a perfect keto bar for after my meal snack.
I have the same. I have a little more, though.
We got the fatty brisket.
And then I got raspberries. And I got one of these bars. It's just like 100 calorie,
Adapt bar. 2
carbs. And then these, which aren't that good, but it's just like working my way through the snack drawer.
Yeah, we just have a lot of snacks, so we just pick one at random. And then I have water.
So we may be a little less interactive with the chat just because, you know, we're going to be telling stories.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll get through a little bit of this food before we actually start. And if you're watching this on replay and you just care about the crime stories, in the description, I'll put where those start at, okay?
Okay.
So what's new with you guys? Got pilly nuts today. Cacao is where it's at. Great recommendation. Thank you.
Yeah, those are like my perfect dessert, fat bomb type of snack. Good for traveling too.
Vegan vibes, eating a big plate of meat. Yeah, I wear this shirt ironically.
And also, 5 o'clock is almost a little late for us. Like 4:30 is when we start pumping out the, you know, cooking and food.
Yeah.
I'm always ready to eat dinner. It's the most filling, it's the most delicious, so we like to eat early.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, this is a pretty good amount of food. I don't know exactly how much. I would estimate maybe like 1,200 calories, 1,300. But my lunch was kind of small, so this is appropriate for me.
This pork is really good.
Yeah, it is.
I don't normally like pork, but I really like this.
Where's your kitty?
She's in the basement. She had a traumatic experience. She had to go to the doctor today, so she's a little stressed. What time is it? It is 5. It's 4:55. Just about 5.
Eating cacao nibs straight up. They don't really taste good. You could probably do it, but it's not my personal favorite. And if you guys are watching this, is the first time we've ever done this, we're not great storytellers.
No.
So this is maybe a struggle the first few episodes.
It's going to be a real struggle for me. So
yeah. Let us know how you like it, though.
Don't hold it against us. We appreciate any feedback. If you're like, this is how you should tell a story.
And if you guys have mysteries or cases that you want us to look into for next time, comment. And even suggest dinners for us to eat. That would be fun, too.
Oh, yeah. We can cook like, oh, yeah, what you guys want us to eat.
I like the idea of takeout because the kitchen's not all dirty and like smoky and stuff because we just cooked it and then we sat down to eat.
And barbecue is the best. I could do this every Wednesday for the rest of my life.
Maybe it should just be Murder She Barbecued.
It's actually a good one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Murder She Ate. What do you guys think of the name? It's not great. Mega.
What? You don't love it?
I don't love it. I like Crime and Nourishment better.
Okay.
We're going with it, though.
Okay, I was going to say it's our first episode. We can always swap if people are thinking.
Never swap.
Nourishment's better.
That's the thing. Make up your mind and just stick with it for life. Those are words my parents live by.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if any of you guys know of these cases. Mine is going to be on Katelin Akens. And who's yours?
Mine's on Warriena, Wright. It's a more recent one. How old is yours? Mine happened 2014.
2015, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys.
I like recent cases.
Me too.
Megas, I really like, though. I know a little bit about it. We didn't cross-pollinate at all, so she doesn't know much about my case.
Right.
But hers is really interesting to talk about. Should we start soon?
Sure.
I wanted to make my way through at least half of this, though, first.
Okay. What sugar substitute should I use for coffee? We like to use monk fruit or liquid stevia for our coffee. Some people do erythritol, which I guess could make sense, like the powdered version, but like it's not going to dissolve if it's granular, right?
Yeah. Farmer Meemaw's here. Real mysteries. Look up The Boys on the Tracks. That happened in my hometown when I was a teen.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, we will.
Matt, are you still considered an unrestricted free agent?
What does that mean?
Are we talking as far as like the NBA goes? No, I don't think I was ever considered one. I call you guys the keto couple.
Thank you. Can you say what's on your plates? Yeah. We got takeout from a barbecue place. Fatty brisket, pulled pork, and then I have pickles and low-carb barbecue sauce.
I have the same, and I have 2 keto bar things here, and then some raspberries.
And I have a perfect keto bar.
And I'm going to have a little bit of ghee with mine, just because this is lower protein, lower fat, even though this is fatty brisket. And man, since we moved to this new house, it's been about 6 months. We haven't had barbecue because we didn't have a good place local. Because we had one in the city, but now we're like a little bit outside. But we just got this place. Finding a local barbecue spot is worth it.
I almost like it better.
Yeah.
I like this brisket better.
I don't like it better.
Than Four Rivers.
Come on, you're out of there.
I like Righteous. It's not Four Rivers. It's Righteous Q.
I used to teach forensic science. Funny because I took forensic science in high school, and that is what got me so interested in crime. We did like blood spatter. A lot of people say they like crime and nourishment.
We're not changing though. How bad does my life have to be to continue watching you to eat food? Well, there's going to be more. We're going to be talking crime, but yeah, food is. I mean, I like.
I don't think it's bad at all.
It's not even a guilty pleasure. It's a genuine pleasure that I love to watch people eat food on YouTube.
I mean, don't overthink it. If you're having a good time, that's all that really matters.
Or if you are overthinking it, then just like don't watch and don't you won't feel bad. You just watch a real TV show. What is this you guys are about to do? We're doing a Murder She Ate crime storytelling mukbang. So we're eating food, dinner.
And this is going to be a little light-spirited, but there is like, sex, crime, murder, that type of stuff. So if you're not into that, you may not like this. It is serious subject matter, just a lighthearted approach.
Your dad just messaged you something and it says even your parents don't want to see you.
Don't want to see you what?
I don't know. Are they watching us on YouTube right now?
I don't know. Maybe they are.
That's just got a little stressful. Oh.
It is my parents, and I just made a joke about them too.
Oh no. They don't want to see us, but they're seeing us.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Gadke.
I made a joke at their expense. It wasn't untrue, though. Okay. So should we start?
Yeah.
All right. We're doing rock, paper, scissors to see who starts. We each have one story. On shoot, right?
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I won.
So do you go first? You want to go first or you want to go second?
You want me to go first?
No, I don't care. I can go first.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, Mega's going first.
Again, not the best storyteller, but I'm going to do my best. This is my first time, so give me some feedback here, Dad. Just sent a bunch of stuff. Oh, man. Now I'm really nervous. Okay. Any other questions before?
In Toronto, eating a slice of pizza, LOL. This is the true crime.
That is, oh my. Oh my. Okay.
Canadian pizza? That does sound kind of criminal.
So my case is on Warriena Wright and Gable Toasty. And then also, I'm going to be looking at my computer. I have a bunch of notes pulled up, so sorry about that. So this happened in Queensland, Gold Coast, Australia, August 7th night into the morning of August 8th, 2014. And they met on Tinder. So they were talking for like 3 days before they actually met up on the 7th. And what I really like about this case is that there's CCTV footage of like them meeting up.
I love when there's CCTV footage. It's always really like creepy, mysterious.
Yeah, and then there's also audio recording of the entire night.
I love
and
this.
You're like, whoa, this is too perfect. Like perfect for a trial, perfect for figuring out what's going on. You can hear the voices and the struggle. And that's because, so I'm going to use their last name. So Wright is the woman and Toasty is the man. So Toasty, he recorded everything on his phone. And we can dig into that later because that's a little weird to me. But luckily he had the entire recording, so it was perfect. So
they met on Tinder.
Yeah.
They had a night together.
They had a night together.
Should I let Julius out?
Yeah, quite the night.
Bro.
Should I just keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
Quite the night. Okay, so they meet up, they go and they grab a 6-pack, and then they head back to his apartment. And he lives on the 14th floor. He lives alone. And the date starts out pretty normal. So you can hear like the entire recording, and you can actually go online and hear parts of it as well as read the entire transcript if you're interested, which is what I did.
Is he already recording?
Yeah, he's recording.
From the start of the night?
From literally the start of the night.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're in their apartment, and you can hear the drinks pouring.
I thought he turned the recording on when things got dicey.
No.
Okay.
They only put out the recording of the dicey footage. Okay. So you can hear the drinks being poured. So they're drinking, they're relaxing. And I feel like a lot of us have been on dates, online dates, right? So you're meeting a stranger, and you talk about whatever comes up. So they talk about...
Well, real quick. So the first date...
This is going to be long if we keep cutting.
I know, but first date is at the apartment. So there's like there's some thoughts going on behind that, right? It's not like...
Yeah, they want to have... So their exchange on Tinder was about sex. They want to, have sex. They want to... It was like a little naughty.
That's generally what first date at an apartment means.
Yeah, of course. And it was obvious from their conversation on Tinder. And so... they're talking about like mythology, they're talking about religion, they're talking about like meeting her parents, just like a bunch of weird stuff. And what I thought was like really weird is that she's pretty testy off the bat. So she's like, I'm a psycho when I'm drunk. She's like throwing stuff at him. So she's pretty just like aggressive. I think as a person, that's the vibe I get while she's drinking.
She's feisty.
Yeah, she's feisty. And he's like not the most tolerant person, though he claims he's very tolerant. So she's like throwing stuff, and it starts to escalate. It gets a little heated, and she's like, don't be a dick to me. And he says, I don't want to have to muscle you. And
I don't have to muscle you?
Yeah, throughout the night, in Australia, they have different lingo. So throughout the night, he's telling her to like relax, calm down. He also mentioned she's like drinking quite a bit. So he's like pointing these things out like, hey, just calm down. Like you're obviously overreacting. And so, like when you're like having a random drunk conversation with someone and it just like turns out of nowhere, and she's like, I'm going to go home. And she like stands up and she's like ready to go out of nowhere.
One thing here is he knows he's recording. Yeah. So like, there's things he's probably doing to like... I didn't even think of that, yeah. Like he's maybe saying things like, okay, this is going to be caught on the audio recorder. I'm going to say this.
But then that's almost like premeditated to me. Let's not talk about that until we get there. Okay. So he's like telling her to relax. He's like, just be nice. I don't want to be beaten up. And that's a big part of it. He's like constantly claiming he's being beaten up by her. And he even offers to like walk her home, but she doesn't want to, she's not having it. So at this point, the argument like just escalates. So she's like very angry. She's like looking for her phone. She's screaming. She can't find her phone. She's like trying to gather all her stuff. And he's like, hey, I don't want you to have to leave. I'm just saying, like, stop beating me up.
Is this really early in the morning, or like how long have they been together at this point?
So they met up at 8:45, and this is 1:30 a.m.
Okay.
So they've been drinking for a while.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's whatever. That's a lot of drinks, right?
4 hours, 5 hours.
At least of drinking. So she's like, at one point she's like, are you going to effing untie me because I will destroy your jaw? So she's tied up. So I'm led to believe, and also from their Tinder discussion, like they're a little more forward in their sexual way, like, right? So like tying up, aggression, and she's like threatening to call the police. So she's just like, from that conversation, she seems very drunk, right? Yeah. She's like all of a sudden very upset, and I mean, I don't know what's going on. But then Toasty, he's like, hey, stay the night. I'll offer to cook you something. So I don't know if he's like, he wants her to stay, basically. And he's just still like, chill out, like you've had a lot to drink. He's even like, I need to catch up, you're so drunk. Like he's making a lot of comments.
And this is at 1 a.m.?
This is at 1:30, yeah.
Okay.
And at one point it chills out, like after he's like, hey, I'll cook you food to eat, just stay the night. And he's like, I'll be your sex slave. You can do whatever.
He said this?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want to me. But also in the audio, you can hear like her throwing things. So she's like throwing things at him. She's still like being really like physically aggressive. And you know what I was thinking? It's funny because like the way she's acting towards him is like in 3rd grade when you like punch the girl you like, you know, you're chasing them around the courtyard. And it's like, maybe she didn't lose that. Maybe she's just like, oh, I should flirt with him by throwing stuff at him and like yelling at him.
The initial kind of feeling I get about this is she's more into him than he is into her.
Yeah, and we can talk about that later because he's on like a challenge to sleep with as many women as possible.
Okay, that comes up later on.
It doesn't come up, but like I read like deep into it.
Okay.
So, at that point, she's like continuing to throw stuff at him, and she's like just being.
Now, how do we know she's throwing it and it's not just like a noise of something being thrown?
Well, because so he's like, ow. He's like, it's like their conversation back and forth is her throwing like little things. And it also like happened like in court he talks about it.
And it's his apartment?
It's his apartment. He's on the 14th floor if you didn't know. So she's just there for vacation. He lives there. That's the difference. So then eventually he gets like super upset. And in the audio he's like very like violently upset. And what you could tell different between the two of them in the audio is that she seems like way out of it. Like she is not coherent. She's been drinking. Okay. She's way too drunk. And he is almost pretty aware of what he's doing, right? He's like understands how drunk she is. So he's like, you're not my kind of girl. You've worn out your welcome. And he's like...
Direct quote?
Yeah. You have to leave. And she's like, okay. And he's like, I thought you were a nice girl. This is effing BS. You are lucky I haven't chucked you off my balcony. So it's like, you know, kind of like weird, right?
Yeah.
So in the audio, she's breathing so heavily. I was like,
you listen to it?
I was uncomfortable listening to it. She is, and it's obvious that he's either like, there's a gag in her mouth of some sort, or he's choking her, pinning her face down on the carpet or whatever, the couch. So she's unable to like actually breathe normally, and she can't really say anything. So he's like taunting her at this point. He's like, "What? You got something to say?" As she's breathing heavily, and the one thing she says is like, "You're a sexist." So she like gets that out, and she's like, "You're a sexist." Like the way she says it is just so.
Was it just like drunken, like really drunk? Sometimes people are like just like staggering over drunk, and they throw off like insults.
No. Okay. She was obviously being like choked or held down, pinned down, and. He threatens, so, and then, sorry, one sec. Okay, so, at that point, after she threatens him, he says, he threatens to walk her out the, poor Julius.
For people just joining, the guy turned his cell phone to record at the start of the day.
So we have a recording of the entire thing you can read online and even listen to. So he threatens to walk her out of the apartment without any of her belongings and knock her the F out. So, I'm thinking, he's coherent enough to like he's gonna kick her out the front door. Like he's already pointed that out, right? So it's weird how it escalates to the next parts. And she starts to apologize because he's clearly pissed off. Like the audio of him screaming is just like, I would be very, very scared. Mm-hmm. And you can tell in her voice she's starting to get really scared, and he's continuing to like choke her because you can hear the heavy breathing. And he keeps saying like, let it go, let it go, let it go. And apparently she grabbed something like a metal clamp. And so he was like, oh, you're gonna hit me and I'm just gonna fall over like in the movies. So he's like aggressive and taunting her, and like, it's very uncomfortable to listen to. So once she drops the clamp, she starts just like begging him to let her go home. Okay. And she starts screaming, like loud, like the audio is loud, like her just screaming no and no over again, 31 times in 46 seconds.
What did she say?
No, let me go home, no. But she says no, just over and over repeatedly. And he says, I would have, but you've been a bad girl. And at that point, you can hear the door of his balcony opening and then shutting and locking. And she's on the other side of the balcony.
He says you've been a bad girl in like a playful way or a serious way?
No. I would have, but you've been a bad girl. And then locks her out on the balcony. And he's on the 14th floor. Okay. So, within the time of him locking her out on the balcony, there's a 2-minute span. And in that after 2 minutes, the first thing he does is call his attorney. So
whoa, he calls is he rich? Is he well off?
I mean, I know it's weird. He has an attorney on call, which is what I thought too. So 2 minutes after he locks her out, he's calling his attorney. So the neighbor downstairs heard the screaming. She woke up, opened her balcony door, and saw Warriena Wright's legs dangling, and then Wright just falls.
Like she's trying to escape.
She's trying to escape. She clips the side of the building, and 14 floors, you're dead. So she falls, and this is within 2 minutes of her being locked outside. So that tells me she is not thinking. She's not coherent. Her first thing is like, I'm gonna scale the balcony, maybe get to the balcony below me and escape, right? That's what she's thinking. You're not like logic is out the window at this point. She's so gone. And so he doesn't even go outside on the balcony to check. He doesn't check to see if she died, if she fell. He immediately calls his attorney. And you can hear the audio.
One sec. So she fell, then he called his attorney.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
So you can.
I'm thinking he locks the door and then he calls the attorney, not knowing she fell or not yet. That doesn't make sense. Okay.
So she falls. You hear the shuffling of him putting on his pants, looking for his keys. Calls his attorney and just bounces. He leaves immediately.
I know. I feel like calling your attorney is kind of appropriate when someone died. Like
he didn't even go to check though. Like.
So
you open the door, you go, and you see if she I don't know. That
to some degree to me indicates guilt because typically your reaction to someone dying is like, whoa, like I need, or can I still save them? Yeah.
So he calls the attorney, leaves, goes to get a slice of pizza. He eats the pizza, and then he can't get a hold of his attorney. So
he went to get pizza.
He went to get pizza.
Okay, that's so that's like sociopath type stuff.
It's just weird. It's his way, I guess, of dealing with the shock. That's what my thinking is. So he calls his dad, and this is what he says. Hello, Dad. I have a bit of a situation. I met up with a girl for a date tonight, and she started getting really aggressive. It was all right at first, and we had sex, and she kept drinking. We were both drinking, and I think she thought it was a joke, but she kept beating me up. It was because she was really drunk and whatever, and I forced her out on the balcony. I think she might have jumped. The dad's response is, oh, no. And then Toasty says, I didn't cause it. I didn't push her. And the dad offers to pick him up, and he says, I never forced her out onto the balcony, which he did force her out onto the balcony.
Are we sure? How do we know that?
She was screaming and saying, let me go home. He was obviously holding her, right?
Okay.
And it happened so quickly. And they're continuing to talk on the phone, and he's panicked, and then he finds her phone in his pocket. And he's like, oh, what the F? This is her phone in my pocket. And he's like super panicked. So she thought it was funny or something, and I was just
and that's why she wouldn't leave, because he had her phone, right?
Yeah, she wanted her phone. He said, I just tackled her in the middle of my apartment, and I said it wasn't funny, and then when I let her go, the last thing I remember was she was on the balcony, and I don't know if she jumped. I don't know. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my goddamn fault. So you knew she jumped because your immediate reaction was to call your attorney, and you knew you were in like a shitload of trouble. Right?
Of course she jumped. Yeah, he knew she jumped.
So, a lot of that.
Or no, maybe he could have just thought she called the cops because she's on the balcony, and there's like a situation.
She didn't have a
like
phone.
That. Oh,
she was locked out on the balcony.
So now you know she jumped for sure.
With nothing, yeah. So now, that was it. That's what happened. That was the night. And so my thoughts are, she from the audio, she was totally out of touch with reality. He seemed partially there. Why did he record the entire encounter? Does he do this with all of his dates? Is this something he does because he's had issues in the past with other women? Is he an aggressive person? We don't really know.
There's something to be said for just turning on the recording. It's either out of protection for two ways. Like he's trying to get away with something, or he's just trying to protect himself, right?
Yeah. No, I think he's trying to protect himself. So she jumped because she was scared for her life. It was obvious. Right.
I don't know that that's obvious. I think she's frustrated. She's frustrated. She's shoved out on a balcony. She's like, I'm going to show him. I'm going to get down.
That's what I thought at first. Down. But when you hear the audio, she is scared for her life. I'm thinking she thinks this is the only way to escape this crazy man, to get to another balcony, right? And he already threatened to kick her out the front door. So why shove her out on the balcony, right? Why not just shove her out the front door? And I didn't like that he didn't check on her. He just immediately called and left and got pizza. If she jumped, he knew she died. You had to have known, right? She died. So the autopsy showed her blood alcohol level was 0.0156.
No,
0.156. So that's 3 times like the legal limit. So 0.156, you're blacked out.
Wait, it's 0.08 is the legal limit. Mm-hmm. So isn't 0.156 2 times that?
They kept saying kept saying 3 times in news.
I don't think you're blacked out for sure.
I think a small woman's blacked out. So I have a friend who got a DUI. She was blacked out at 0.2. And then I have another friend at 0.2 blacked out driving DUI. So that
leads to make better friends.
That leads me to believe, and I feel like a smaller girl. Maybe she hadn't eaten anything that day.
Yeah.
So he's charged 7 days later with murder, and off the bat, that's a terrible. I think that's a terrible call. Because
murder?
You have to know.
I don't know the rules in Australia.
Right.
It's obviously not like first-degree murder.
But the first thing to think is they were on separate sides of the door. How could it have been murder if he wasn't even like near her, right? She's on the other.
More like manslaughter.
Right. So, but they charged with murder, which was a mistake, I think. So, so let's talk about. So, murder in Australia means the willful killing of a person, either intentionally or with reckless indifference to life. So it's the willful killing of a person. So that right there is a hard thing to prove, right, in court.
Yeah, it wasn't a willful killing.
Yeah, and then manslaughter is the crime that was not committed intentionally, but was the result of a reckless or careless act or diminished responsibility.
Yeah, for sure, that's the one.
So the 12-person jury comes back as they can't decide. So he's actually acquitted. He's found not guilty of murder and not guilty of manslaughter. I think
So he's walking free right now?
Yeah, he's out in the world just living his life. Granted, it's a pretty bad life after this, but I think the mistake was charging him with murder right off the bat. Mm-hmm. So the defense argued that Tosti was just protecting himself in his home, while the prosecutors argued that she was so intimidated that she tried to escape by climbing to a lower floor but fell. And those are like the 2 big arguments.
Yeah, so comment what you guys think about this. And I saw Goody Beats is here. What's up, bud? I guess for me, it's like, if she didn't try climbing down and you know, what led to her death, there wouldn't really be a crime, right?
No, there wouldn't be. If she just left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the issue is like if she couldn't leave, but it seemed like she had a lot of opportunities to leave, right? Maybe not really.
He was like holding her down. She wanted her phone. She wasn't going to leave without her phone, and he obviously had it on him, right?
Yeah.
And
it's tough.
And like she is so drunk at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he should have been committed of murder.
I agree.
And he wasn't. He shouldn't have been. But at the same time, I don't know. Like I think that from the audio, you could just tell she was in a place where there was no logic. Like, so her thinking that climbing down the balcony, I could see how that makes sense.
I think when you're drunk, you just do dumb stuff like that.
Yeah,
you think you're invincible.
You get in bar fights, physical altercations, you kill people, right? Yeah. So I think what she did wasn't too far-fetched. And until you're
there was no drugs in her system?
No.
Okay.
Well, so also she dropped 14 flights, so her body was just so like shattered. It was like harder to decipher other things they were saying. But he was just like very angry, and it was obvious that, I mean, he knew what he was doing. Why lock her out on the balcony? What is that? How does that make sense to you?
It doesn't really make sense, because wouldn't you just like make her leave? Locking out on the balcony makes no sense in any circumstance. His thinking is probably like, we're still kind of playing like this sexual tension type of game. I'm going to lock her out on the balcony. She'll come back in. That's what I'm thinking. You know, like he doesn't want her to leave, really.
Valerie Guy, he could have put something in her drink. That is something that ran through my mind. Because listening to her, I mean, we don't know exactly how many drinks they had. But she was continuing to drink. But like, she sounded just so messed up. Like, so messed up. And he was being really aggressive with her and like holding her down, choking her. Like, I don't know. I would be scared for my life too.
I think he committed a crime of some kind, right? He shouldn't be walking
assault.
free. Yeah.
But you can't prove anything. She's dead.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
Yeah. But I thought it was interesting. I like that we had the whole audio to listen to. So guys, if you are interested in that case, definitely like read through this transcript. She's like out there. Cause like
there is an actual audio file you can listen to. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think that would give more context to like.
It would if you guys could listen to it. Yeah. Tinder date falls off balcony and dies in Australia. Yeah, that was what the case was.
TLDR. Yeah.
Yeah. A role playing thing. Yeah, that's the vibe you get from both of them, right?
Yeah. Vivian says she agrees that he was playing a game with her. I think he was trying to wear her down. It sounds super effed.
Yeah. Yeah. It just. Yeah.
I wonder.
Terrible scenario.
Yeah. I guess I wonder. I'd like to be in her mind if she was actually feeling like endangered, or if she was kind of in on the game too, and it just like went too far.
No, she felt endangered for sure.
Okay.
You wouldn't jump off the balcony if you were in on the game, right?
Yeah. No, you wouldn't. But she's not in her right mind either.
That's true. She's probably not the first woman he's locked down on the balcony. Yeah. So I read a little bit into his past. And he would like go on like forums with like other bodybuilders and talk about like the women he slept with and like
that doesn't make you a bad person or a criminal.
But he was like trying. No, it doesn't at all. No, you're absolutely right. But
guys do that. I don't think it's that messed up.
But like this is something maybe he's dealt with before and never had this, and that's why he was recording, and that's why like he thought if he locked her out on the balcony, then she wouldn't jump because it's happened before. Mm-hmm. You know.
The legal limit in Australia is 0.05. That's why it's 3 times.
Oh, okay. Thank you for letting us know, Jennifer. Okay. Anything else?
No. I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
That's a good one. It gets people talking, for sure.
Yeah.
It's tough.
You don't know she jumped. She could have been trying to just get one below.
Yeah, that's what I think she was doing.
I think that's what the consensus is. We don't think she jumped.
You just, sometimes when you're drunk, you think you're superhuman. You can do stuff like that.
Or like the balcony was closer than she thought, and then she tried to put her feet down and she just like slipped.
If this was his apartment, then she was quite dumb. I wouldn't say that. It's definitely like high risk behavior, right? Like, I mean, but you don't expect to be dead at the end of the night.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, she's engaging in high risk behavior for sure.
I mean, you both are, right? When you meet up with someone randomly and go back to a stranger's apartment. Mm-hmm. I guess that's not high risk, but yeah.
Okay, intermission.
Someone said I like Murder, She Ate, but how about Killer Cuisine?
What else is new with you guys? And if you guys want to comment, if you're watching this after it's live, you can comment different cases that you're interested in and stuff. We'll look into them. Mm-hmm. We don't know their conversations before. Yeah. There's a lot you don't really know. That's kind of the thing that makes it a mystery and makes all these cases interesting, because there's like pieces that are missing. The one I'm about to tell, I think is pretty cool because, I mean, not cool, it's messed up, but it's hard to really come up with a cohesive conclusion on what could have happened. Stephen Avery. That's a good one. We could do that at some point. Everyone loves Stephen Avery case. Do you have an opinion on that one, Mega? Stephen Avery?
No, I just think more about the boy. He was obviously not guilty.
Brandon Dassey? Mm-hmm. Maybe the curtain was open and he watched her jump. Yeah, that's true too. I assume typically balconies are glass. It's hard for me to believe that he doesn't know that she jumped.
Yeah,
right?
He has to.
He knows she jumped.
Yeah.
We just finished eating your Korean beef recipe. It was killer. Is that in one of the cookbooks? What is that in?
Yeah, slow cooker.
Slow cooker. Is that trailer park one, Avery? Yeah, it's kind of trailer park. I don't think it's technically a trailer park.
It isn't?
No, it's like his auto salvage yard.
Oh, I thought he lived in a trailer home, though.
Yeah, it's kind of trailer homey.
Unless he pushed her off, it's all on her. Ooh. Yeah, that's what a lot of people were saying. I mean, it's hard to say what's all on anyone when they're like in that kind of a mental state, right? Like she was so drunk beyond like logic or beyond like consciousness. It's like not consciousness, but like she was incoherent. So
it woke up the neighbor, you said?
She heard screaming and they're fighting. She was so loud.
Yeah, they were probably just like, yeah. I would not like to live below that guy. So I wonder if it was her on the balcony that actually woke up the neighbors below, or if it was just like the constant yelling for 3 hours that night. Should we move on to mine? Okay, guys. This one, and you can pull up the chat on your computer maybe if you want to.
Okay.
Let me see here. So I have some notes here. Don't have your cookbook yet, but I was wondering if you guys use any proper Korean ingredients for the recipe. Not like really proper. I think there's sesame oil and like soy sauce. What's a proper Korean ingredient? Okay, here we go. This is case number 2. It is Katelin Akens, 19 years old. So she lived in, okay, so here's a little bit of a story about her childhood. She seemed to be relatively smart. She graduated high school at 16, although I don't think it was one of those people that like, you know, just AP classes all the way, graduated at 16. It was more of like, I don't really want to go to high school that much. I'm going to get like, I don't know if it was a GED. I think she actually graduated, but she got her degree early. Okay. She lived down the street from her best friend since they were young kids. Their friendship blossomed into a relationship. And she eventually, when she graduated college, or when she graduated high school, she moved to Arizona, and I think they were engaged with her girlfriend, Amber. And so she's starting her life up in Arizona. Her family lives in Virginia, moved to Arizona, starts her life up there. She's going to enroll in cosmetology school. So in order to do that, she needs her high school diploma, and you could probably just get that sent from your family in the mail, but her sister had a son. So she wanted to go home, grab her diploma, and meet her son for the first time. He was like just born, so her nephew. So she does that, and now we are in December 4th of 2015, the day before things really go down. So she's in her hometown where she went to high school. She visits some old friends. They have drinks, they play cards, and she spends the night at their house on December 4th. Her flight is on December 5th at 5:40 p.m. So early the next morning, December 5th, she gets driven to her mom's house, and she says goodbye to everyone. She's acting totally normal. She's happy. She's herself. Her mom has work that day, so her stepdad is the one who's going to drive her to the airport. Okay. Her stepdad, not her biological dad. This guy and her mom got married when she was like around 7.
Do we know if she likes him or not?
Yeah, so the mom and dad were on good terms. So her actual mom and her stepdad, they're on pretty good terms. He was great when they were married, apparently, to her, like just like a father. When they got divorced, he stopped coming around quite as much, but he still like would come to really important life events. Okay. Which to me, that sounds like what I would maybe do, right? Yeah. Sounds like a good dad. Stepdad. Yeah. So yeah, the stepdad is the one who has to bring her to the airport. So at 9:20 a.m. on December 5th, the mom drops Katelin off at her dad's house. So the dad's name is James, stepdad.
Okay, you keep saying dad.
Stepdad, because there's no dad in the picture, so this is the only like dad figure. So the stepdad also has to work that day before the flight takes off, 3 p.m. Okay. So he has to drop her off a little early. Since that's the case, Katelin apparently says she wants to be dropped off at the Springfield Mall, which is walking distance, or it may be like a couple bus stops away from the airport. So she goes there, hangs out at the mall, takes the shuttle to the airport, leaves on time. So she's not just sitting around at the airport all day. Now, so that's you know, kind of the premise. That's what we all think happened that day. She got on her flight at 5:40, but that's obviously not what happened. We got text messages, 11:56 a.m. And this whole case is really built on like text messages, Facebook messages, and hearsay. All cases are built on hearsay. But 11:56 a.m. So at this point, she's probably still at her dad's house. She texts her fiance, and she says, something came up. I'm not coming back today. I'll let you know when I get a new flight.
Weird.
Yeah. So 11:56.
So she's with the stepdad at this point, though, right?
That's what we think. So she's with the stepdad. Yep. They're probably just getting ready to go to the airport.
Okay.
Or maybe they're en route to the airport.
Okay.
And then in a separate text, she immediately then said, I won't be able to text for a bit. Okay? Now we're at 1:52 p.m. The stepdad texts the mother, I dropped Katelin off. Okay, so there's confirmation, just checking in. She got dropped off at the mall. But he doesn't say the mall. He's just like, I dropped Katelin off. At this point, the mom still thinks the plan is drop off at the airport.
Oh, someone just messaged us something, and it's so good.
What?
It's not her texting.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, of course. I
didn't even think that. Brilliant, Nanette.
Okay, so then the mom says, okay, thanks, in response to getting dropped off. How was traffic? The stepdad says, not too bad. And then this next text is what kind of concerned Lisa, and the mom is named Lisa. And some of this, in my opinion, is like retroactive. Like looking back, she's like, oh yeah, this is the text that really set me off. But at the time, I'm not sure if that was the case. I dropped her at the Springfield metro station. She was going to take the metro to the airport since there's a stop at the airport. So this is her first hearing of this change in plans, right?
Okay.
So her daughter's not getting dropped off at the airport. It's getting dropped off at the mall. And in the mother's opinion, this would never happen because the girl didn't know how to use the metro. Like I know me, when I was 18, I've never been on a bus before.
So the stepdad tells his wife that he's dropped off the daughter and then says, no, I dropped her off at the metro station. After saying like traffic's not bad, it wasn't bad, I dropped her off at the airport. Okay.
No, he didn't say dropped off at the airport. He said, I dropped her off.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the mom probably thought airport.
Yep. So mom's a little skeptical. She's like, my daughter doesn't take the metro. That's not a thing she's ever done.
Right.
My counter to that would be, she's been living in Arizona for a few years. She's growing up. She's living on her own. Maybe she does this now,
The mom just doesn't know. Yeah.
2 p.m. 8 minutes after Lisa received her text from James, so that's the mom and the stepdad. Lisa received a text from Katelin. This is 8 minutes after. I'm at the airport, battery dying, so I won't be able to text for a bit.
Okay, that's normal.
So the mom says, okay, let me know when you get on the plane. And I couldn't, okay, so that's that. So, the mom is a little bit rest assured that the daughter's on the plane. She's heard from her daughter.
She's going to go home, yeah.
When you're in this situation, you're not like, oh, that stepdad killed her and has her phone. You're not thinking that yet.
No.
Okay. 7:15 p.m., 2 hours after her flight was supposed to depart, Lisa, the mom, received two separate texts from Katelin. They read, I'm staying with a friend. I need some time alone.
Okay.
So now she's like, okay, she's not on the plane, or maybe she is on the plane. I don't know. I'm staying with a friend. I need time alone.
And where was she going? From Arizona to back to?
From Virginia to Arizona.
Okay.
So the mom texts back, call me. I'm very worried about you. Please call me. And, she didn't respond. People were texting her all throughout that night. No responses. And one thing that alarmed the mom is that the two text messages in a row. A lot of people have like texting styles.
Yeah.
Where they have certain cues that they do. Apparently, she never sends two texts back to back. It's always like one cohesive thought, waits for a response.
Okay, so like how you would text your mom or dad. You're not just like, hey, text, what's up?
Yeah, so I'm staying with a friend, one text, I need some time alone, second text.
Okay.
That would have been one text, typically, is what her mom says.
Okay.
So, throughout that night, Katelin wouldn't answer any texts or calls, and it was like that until her phone just stopped ringing. At some point into the night, her phone just cut off. So, just given that, what are your current thoughts on the case? She disappears from that point. We never see her again.
Well, honestly, I don't feel like I'm smart enough to have thought it's not her texting.
Really?
Yeah, but Nanette made a good point that she wasn't texting.
It's possible.
So that's what I'm thinking now. Something happened with the stepfather. So like, there's always like a creepy. Sometimes it happens where it's like creepy, where the stepfather likes like the younger daughter. Yep. He's a sexual predator, and so he definitely did something with her.
Everyone's saying the stepdad did it, basically, right now. Okay, so here's where things, in my opinion, get interesting, because I am in agreement with you guys. At that point, I was like, stepdad, lock him up, throw away the key, for sure.
And someone said, can they locate her phone? This was 2015. They could have done that.
Yeah, so we're going to get to that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is the good stuff. So, This is like the one thing that you really can't fit into any theory. So after, like later that night, there was a Facebook message. So this is after the 7:15 text message. This is later on that night. Katelin texts her fiance, Amber, and says, I can't come back. I cheated on you. Okay? So now, if we're going with this theory with the dad, he now knows her Facebook password, or it was logged in at his house or something.
Yeah.
Or it was actually Katelin typing that message.
Yeah.
But there's even more that's necessary to know that, because we're going to get to that soon. Basically, Amber says, like, this is just anecdotal, like, this doesn't seem like something she would do. She was so pumped to start cosmetology school and start our lives together, that type of thing. But everyone's going to say
it wouldn't happen all of a sudden. And, like, if you cheat on someone, you're not just not going back, right?
Yeah.
Unless you, like, love that person, yeah.
So family contacts police the next day after the disappearance, and there's really nothing you can do because, like, a 19-year-old person walks off, you don't really look after them. They're adults. Yeah. So unless you have proof that there's maybe foul play, police typically don't look into that. So December 7th, 2 days after Katelin's disappearance, her luggage is discovered by a road crew worker in a drainage ditch in Fredericksburg. Now, where is Fredericksburg? That must
Virginia.
that must be near the airport, though, right? Wrong. 44 miles away from where she was allegedly dropped off. That's where the luggage is found. And it's 5 miles away from, you know, the place everyone lived, like the dad, the mom.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, it's how far?
5 miles away.
Okay.
So closer to that area than the airport. There's a wheel missing and scuff marks on the luggage which make it clear that it was tumbled, like thrown out of a car, not placed there.
Okay.
Okay. The suitcase contained her wallet, cash, debit cards, and her plane ticket home. But it was missing some things, too. This is kind of interesting. Log this for later. It was missing her clothes, her cell phone, and her high school diploma, which is what was needed for the cosmetology school back in Arizona. And the contents of the suitcase were still neatly packed. Okay. So then the police request footage, logically, from the security cameras outside of the mall to see if, like, maybe she met someone right when she was dropped off, or if she was dropped off at all. And right when they pull the security footage, a body is found. A young woman 3 miles away from the suitcase drop, matches all the specifics of Katelin, and then they do some digging. It takes a couple days. They find out it is actually not Katelin. So it's kind of a relief, but then you're like, okay, now we got a serial killer. What's going on here?
Yeah, maybe the stepdad is just like, likes younger girls.
Well, you're thinking the stepdad's a serial killer automatically? I would just think it's some random serial killer.
Not that he's a serial killer, but like...
He's got 2 under his belt.
Yeah, I'm thinking too deep on the stepdad.
Okay, so you're just locked into stepdad at this point.
Stepdads can be creepy. No offense to all the stepdads.
So now we're thinking, okay, that's another potential theory. Is there a serial killer in the area? And then upon interviewing the friends, remember the night before she disappeared, she stayed. Yep.
Matthew Newbold just made a good point.
What?
If it was like a random serial killer, there wouldn't be like text to cover up or Facebook messages. So for her, it has to be.
Unless you held her captive and had her do that.
That's so extreme.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme.
If you want to kill, you're gonna just kill.
I don't know. What it could have even been like a Ariel. What's that? Ariel Castro. Like he kept people in his basement for years. It could have been that type of scenario.
Yeah, but we're assuming. Okay, yeah.
Because that could happen. I guess that's a new theory I just came up with. So the police talked to the friends that she stayed with the night before disappearing.
Okay.
And they found out that they got drunk and had a threesome the night before.
Okay, so she did cheat.
That's a new wrinkle. She did actually cheat. So now, in order for the dad to send that message, he has to have intimate knowledge of the cheating also, which... To me, that's like a big ask. Like you're typing.
Ew, that's just a creepy stepdad who he talks to the stepdaughter about like sex and things like that, right?
I don't think that's their relationship though.
Okay, that's why it's a relationship.
So to me, the message sent on Facebook that she cheated has some intimate knowledge of what actually went down.
Yeah.
Okay. So then 2 weeks after the disappearance, police get the phone records, the locations, the cell tower pings and all that. And the battery dying text, the one that she was in the airport, my battery's dying, can't talk, 5 miles from where her luggage was found. That's where it pinged.
Okay.
So not near the airport. Okay? Near the dad's house.
Okay.
The stepdad's house. Security footage from the mall never shows the stepdad or Katelin at the mall or the metro station or the airport. No trace.
Okay.
So it seems like they never went anywhere near the airport.
Okay.
After this, James becomes more of a suspect. He refuses a polygraph test and talks to a lawyer. Which to me, I don't really fault that. I think polygraph tests they don't really tell you a lot.
James, her fiance.
No, James is the stepdad.
The stepdad, okay. Sorry, I'm confused.
So
okay.
the stepdad refuses a polygraph test.
I wouldn't refuse a polygraph test if I wasn't guilty.
I would.
That shows guilt in itself.
If you're not guilty, if you were a suspect, you have to defend yourself, in my opinion. Even if you're innocent.
But I'm going to take the polygraph. I would get a lawyer present to be with me for the polygraph test, I believe.
I don't know if you can even do that.
Because it's not admissible in court.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Okay. So police in the phone records, they also find that James's phone activity all day was within 5 miles of his house. So that's not just text. That's like I'm logging onto Facebook, I'm searching, on Google Chrome. All of his phone activity never left his house. So he did not drop her off at the airport. That's clear.
Okay, yeah.
James did not go to work the day of the disappearance.
Okay.
He was supposed to go at 3 p.m. That's why he took her early.
Well, this is why we locked in the stepdad as guilty. Because he did it.
And this is interesting, too. In the preceding days, everyone... Is preceding the right word? That means after?
No, it's before.
In the proceeding days?
Yeah.
That's after?
Yeah, to proceed.
The days after the disappearance, everyone in her family tried reaching her multiple times, hundreds of times, text calls. James didn't call or text once, the stepdad.
He's a stepdad. He's only present for certain moments. He does his duty.
Okay. Police then, immediately, when they find that out, they search his house, they find nothing.
Okay, of course. Why would he have anything? He threw away the suitcase.
So that is really kind of everything about the case.
What?
There's a little bit of other stuff I'm going to add in. Katelin had an encrypted chat app on her phone. So to me, that indicates some sort of dubious activity, whether it's like drugs, whether it's, something going on. You don't have encrypted chat for no reason.
Yeah. I don't know what that means. What does encrypted chat mean?
It's like where they can't get your text messages.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
You had an encrypted chat thing in San Francisco.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. That is, drugs for sure.
Yeah. I'm leaning towards drugs. That's typically why people use the encrypted chat apps, but who knows? It could be something else. Here is the real thing that maybe clears the dad. It doesn't clear the dad, but it puts it in doubt. Katelin's close friend, the friend she confided everything in, his name's Kevin.
Okay.
Not really mentioned in the story at all, except for now. He reports that Katelin was not a willing participant in the threesome. It was actually a forced sexual encounter.
Okay.
She felt terrible about this.
Okay.
She was really in a depressed state the next day.
Oh, she was forced into it. Kevin wasn't. Okay.
No, she was not a willing participant that previous night.
Okay.
Basically, she got drunk. It got out of control. The couple forced themselves on her. She wasn't really about it. And, she woke up really devastated about it.
Okay.
So, this puts her in a totally different frame of mind than we originally thought. And to me, I don't know. It's kind of the stars are really aligning. It's some kind of rape happens and then the next day the stepdad kills her. Are those not correlated at all?
So
maybe that's the case.
Couple good points. Stepdad probably helped her fake her death. Why'd he lie about dropping her off?
Why did he lie about dropping her off? That's the thing, yeah.
I don't think what Kevin said really has much to do with it unless, she didn't want to run away and the stepdad helped her do that.
Yeah. So we'll get to theories soon, but we're getting to some good stuff here. And then the last note is there's debate on the surveillance footage at the mall. The area where James claimed to have dropped her off was not covered by cameras.
Okay.
But there was footage taken everywhere in the area. Never saw any sight of him, but it's possible that she got dropped off.
Well, that's convenient. He just happened to know where to drop her off, where there wasn't TV footage, camera footage.
So let's go through the theories now. The stepdad did it, of course, is the first one.
Does anyone in the family think it's the stepdad?
Yeah, everyone in the family thinks it's the stepdad.
Okay, so he's the...
Except for the sister. I'll give you her theory soon, too.
And no body ID?
No body's ever been found.
Okay. Those aren't fear because I just always think they're out there living.
Yeah. This is definitely possible, I'd say.
Yeah.
So the stepdad did it. It seems like most of the information is pointing towards that, right?
Yeah.
But the one thing I can't really rationalize with the stepdad theory is that there's a Facebook message sent basically when she would have been dead or like, you know, in captivity that says, I cheated, which shows intimate knowledge of the actual cheating. Mm-hmm. So to me, how does that happen in the stepdad scenario? You got ideas on that?
Unless Kevin said she was really depressed and upset. She didn't have anyone else to talk to. She told the stepdad. Mm-hmm. And so if in the instance the stepdad killed, then he could have covered it up because he knew all this information. When you're depressed and you want to talk to, or you want to open up to someone.
So she reveals the sexual encounter to her stepdad, and then that same day he kills her. That seems weird to me. Pretty far-fetched, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to really come up with a solid theory that aligns that the stepdad actually did it. But then it's like, why did he lie about dropping her off? That doesn't make sense.
Unless he was covering up that she wanted to just like... Mm-hmm. But would something like that put you in a mindset where you just want to like leave your life behind? Like a rape or an accidental threesome? You're just going to leave your fiance behind, your cosmetology school, your home, your new nephew.
I don't know. There's no really telling your reaction to something like that, I guess, right? Theory number 2.
Oh, also all her stuff from the suitcase that was missing. Mm-hmm. But someone said, why would she take her high school diploma?
That would indicate that she wants to start...
But it has her name on it. Wouldn't she have to like change her name and like be off the grid?
Yeah.
Maybe she just like cared about it.
I can't really make sense of why she took those things out of the suitcase or whoever took them. Yeah, no body's ever been found. The second theory would be that she just walked away from her current life because of the cheating, or just, you know, she couldn't face her fiance.
Is the sister saying anything?
Yeah, we'll get to the sister's theory.
Oh, I thought we're like ending right now.
We're getting towards ending.
Okay.
Another thing is she's 19, so she's really still in a fragile state of mind where, like, you know, cheating and like you're facing your fiance, that's tough to do, right?
Yeah, at that point, and things like that, the world is just over for you.
Yeah.
It's like crashing, coming down.
So that theory, to me, it doesn't make as much sense, but the subset of that theory is one that I'm pretty strong on, which is she walked away with the help from her stepdad. That checks all the boxes.
So is it illegal to do that, to just escape like that?
No.
And so if she like comes back when she realizes like, oh, you know, I don't have to like, you know, leave my family behind in like a couple years, and she comes back, it'll just be like nothing. The stepdad didn't commit any crime by keeping evidence. I think
maybe like perjury or something, or like, yeah, evading police. There's probably something he did wrong. But then it's like, is their relationship strong enough to...
Maybe that's who she had like the relationship on the encrypted text with. Maybe they did have like a weird...
They might have had a weird, strong relationship.
Yeah.
The sister's theory is that because she was always chatting online with people apparently, she met up with a stranger online and either disappeared or foul play. She
was engaged though, but she was still talking to other people online?
I guess that's what her sister said. That's her sister's theory.
And a sister would know her well, right?
I think so, yeah. You generally confide with your siblings more, right? Oh, obstruction of justice. Yeah, that's what it would be. Totally illegal. And then another theory could be suicide. That one doesn't make a lot of sense to me, though.
No, because why are things missing from the suitcase?
The theory with suicide would be the exact same as she walked away from life, but instead of just starting a new life, she committed suicide.
Okay.
But generally, I feel like when you are committing suicide, you're not taking as much precautions to like really go through unfound, or some people do, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you're not. You're
like the body, I think, would be found, right?
Yeah, and you would like leave a note. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's more of like a thing. It's not like we're not like cats and dogs. We like hide under couches to die alone. You know. Mm-hmm. I feel like we we do it wherever we need to do it, and it's in an open place.
And then the last theory that I think is kind of interesting is maybe she was meeting with friends at that mall, unbeknownst to James, her stepdad, and it was the two friends from the previous night. She confronted them and said, "I'm pressing charges," something like that, and then they took matters into their own hands.
Actually, that might be my favorite.
You like that one?
Yeah.
Let us know what your guys' theories are on this. I think I'm going with, I don't know, man. When someone's not seen for so long, the default has to be that they're dead. Like 90% of the time, I think that's the case. But for this one, I think she may have walked away with the help of the stepdad. That's my favorite theory.
What about the other girl that was murdered? Anything? Correlation?
No. It seems like there's no real correlation between the two cases.
Maybe the stepdad was part of the threesome? Weird.
That'd be a foursome then, I think.
Oh, okay, because the other friend was,
Really is. Oh boy. Let me get the door.
You just slid into the door. Did you hear him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think the friends did it. Especially if Kevin, like, pointed out she felt really bad. And if so something had to have happened. Not just like a fun sex night.
No, I think the forced threesome had to somehow play into the what happened the next day, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Your dog is barking? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, someone said no way you're meeting the couple. You text or call. Yeah, because if you feel really bad about it, would you want to meet up with them the next day?
I don't know. Probably not.
Someone said Katelin's at the door. That is so creepy. Don't say that kind of stuff.
And there was a $5 donation earlier. I didn't get to it, and I think it's like gone from the chat. But it wasn't a question. It was just a comment.
Thank you.
We appreciate
it.
Sucks for headphone people. Sorry, Larry. Yeah, Julia's.
Oh.
It sucks for us too, though.
I know. I hate that. I do like. I like these unsolved ones because, or like these mysterious ones where they walk away from life because you can talk about a lot more. But I hate that I'll never know.
Yeah.
Where what's her name is?
Mara Murray.
Mara Murray. I need to know what is, and she had to. I'm assuming she's dead.
Yeah, I think so. We can get to that one someday.
Yeah.
You only confront face to face in the movies.
That's true.
It is kind of true.
My dog just woke up from a dead sleep.
A lot of people saying that their dogs woke up.
Sorry, that's gonna happen.
It sounds like foul play for sure. No one walked away. We have too big of digital footprints now.
Yeah, I agree.
What the relationship between the stepdad and her? What evidence proves the stepdad didn't have anything to do with it? I don't know. A lot of evidence says he had stuff to do with it, right? Because he's lying about dropping her off.
But not enough to charge him, right? Because no one's been charged. Nothing.
Yeah, he hasn't been charged.
If it was forced sex, zero way you physically confront. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the dad's profession?
Oh, he actually worked for the NSA.
Oh.
I think it was like a desk job, not like, he's not like a big wig.
But you know stuff, right? In terms of how to cover up things, get away with it.
Yeah. You know how hard it is to go off grid, and as a 19-year-old, foul play for sure.
Especially if she's going to school for cosmetology, she's not loaded with money. So because she'd have to get a new name, she'd have to get a new light. There's so much expenses to start a new life.
Yeah, I don't think she had a lot of money to her name. There was no ATM withdrawals. Is that a coconut lime primal kitchen bar? Yeah, it is.
Is it good?
I like it. It's pretty good.
Coconut lime, I feel wouldn't be a good flavor. Toothpick mega, yeah. I feel I do need them.
Oh,
okay.
I don't think so. So what did you guys think overall of the stream? You guys like this, or should we stop doing them? We're gonna do it.
Matt Newbold, the stepdad, and works for the NSA.
What?
Matt Newbold.
You're a stepdad and you work for the NSA?
That's funny. It's not hard to go off the grid, some people are saying. I feel it would be really hard. But if you really want to do it, you would just do it somehow. Maybe she like, no, because she also, it happened so suddenly. She didn't like have enough research done and like figure out how she's going to do it, right? It wasn't like premeditated.
I mean, it could have been. It could have been planned for years, you know? Who knows? Probably not.
No, probably, definitely not. Okay.
Oh, one other thing. There was another message sent. They found it. It was like a few days prior on Facebook. Just to add to the case, it was like, I don't want to go there and I don't want to be here. Or no, it was, I don't want to be here and I don't want to be there. So it was obviously, you know, I mean, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence saying that maybe she wasn't that happy, like she wants to just leave. To me, it's weird when you start saying stuff like that and then you do actually disappear. There's some, I would put some weight on that type of stuff.
Just like my case, when he was like, you're lucky I don't throw you off the balcony.
Yeah.
And then she jumped off the balcony.
It's very weird that now thinking back, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So it's just like weird things that happen like that. Someone just said eat before, but like the whole point is we eat during.
Yeah, we should at least eat like half of it though.
Yeah.
Are you doing the Murder She Ate at the same time every week? It'll be for dinner on Wednesdays most weeks, hopefully.
We could just do 5 p.m.
Yeah.
5 p.m. Eastern.
I somehow feel like it's kind of like Pretty Little Liars. Is that show we watched?
No.
We watched? No?
Mm-mm.
No.
Oh, yeah.
It was one season only?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're hanging out with friends for the night without actually having to go anywhere. Oh, that's great.
We feel the same. I was eating low-carb barbecue sauce with my my brisket and pulled pork. That's what we had.
What was the dip you were using?
I said low-carb barbecue sauce.
Okay, someone was just asking.
Yeah.
Oh. Sex trafficking, someone said? Yeah. But
I don't think
to
so.
me, if that happened, why is the dad then lying?
So like the stepdad sold her?
Unless he sold her into sex trafficking.
Does that happen frequently in like the U.S. like that?
Everyone says it happens more than we think, but I don't know. A 19-year-old and her stepdad like somehow has ties to sex trafficking. I don't know. That doesn't really make too much sense.
Yeah, she vented to her stepdad about the threesome, and it threw him into a jealous rage. That's what I thought. Because if he did like her,
yeah, that could make a little sense.
yeah.
I imagine no, maybe I'm not going to say that.
What? No. Say.
No.
Say it.
I was going to say there's like a lot of instances where stepdads are attracted to their daughters.
Yeah,
right?
that's what we were talking about. Like they had a creepy relationship.
Yeah. I just to say thank you guys. You have both given me so much interesting information. I'm no longer pre-diabetic. Oh yeah, I guess we should mention that. If people are just finding this as an actual true crime thing, which is going to be like 1% of you, our channel is typically based on the keto diet.
Yeah. I wish people start coming here just for crime.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this new awesome crime couple, Mega and Matt. Someone said sex trafficking is a thing in Atlanta.
I see it in the airport all the time.
What are you talking? What? That's so scary.
There's always those big billboards that say no to sex trafficking.
Yeah, but like I thought like maybe because we're going overseas. I just like, how does that happen?
I don't know.
Like, it's like a gang?
Or maybe it's frequently happening in the airport just unbeknownst to everyone, kind of, you know, like.
And Atlanta airport's like the biggest hub.
Yeah.
Right?
Off topic of the mystery girl disappearance, I just got to tell you about this keto ice cream I've made. 2 scoops slim fast keto meal shake and 3/4 cup heavy whipped cream. That sounds great. Freeze. Everyone's saying sex trafficking is everywhere. I guess I got to look at the numbers on this because yeah, everyone says it's everywhere, but I've never really looked into it.
That's so scary.
Yeah.
What's with the t-shirt?
My shirt?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just saw it and I thought it was funny. I laughed upon seeing it because it says vegan vibes, you know, like.
But now it just like really looks good on you.
It does look pretty good. But when I wear it out, I'm definitely self-conscious about it. I'm like, oh man, these people think I'm one of those guys, you know, like
yeah.
Vegan vibe shirts.
All right, but that's it.
Yeah.
Was that long?
I think it was that was an hour.
Yeah, I talk really fast, you talk really slow, so we compensate.
And comment below with other cases and stuff, guys, because it takes us some time to find good ones. My favorite ones are the type that there's definitely more than one strong theory. Because there's a lot of cases that there's like one pretty strong theory, and then everything else is just kind of like, yeah, maybe. There's a small chance that happened.
Yeah. The Teacher's Pet podcast from Australia. Okay.
I've never listened to that one, but I love true crime podcasts. I like True Crime Garage, Generation Y.
And then my favorite cases are the ones like the one I did today, like where there's a trial and we can talk about like
the law,
and like murder, manslaughter, like what actually defines those things. And
Lisa Lamb, do you know about that one?
No.
That one has video footage.
Baby Lisa.
Baby Lisa. Oh, if you guys don't know, we've tried starting a few true crime podcasts.
We've recorded a couple episodes. One episode was pretty good.
It's just we're not that great.
What if we randomly just air that? I could just randomly air that episode 1 week instead of a keto one.
That would be funny. Do you want unsolved? Unsolved is fine, but if it is solved, then I could just tell it in a way that we then, at the very end, reveal the outcome.
Should we change it to crime and punishment?
No.
I mean, crime and nourishment.
Crime and nourishment. I like this. We just got to stick with bad names. That's why we have the Keto for Normies podcast.
Which is the worst.
Keto Connect is a bad name.
Which is terrible.
And what is this one? Murder She Ate?
Yeah. I came in late. Are these real cases or based on real cases scenarios?
Real cases.
They're real cases. So we do the research during, like, Wednesday during the day, make notes, and yeah, we'll see you next Wednesday.
See you next Wednesday, guys.
Bye.